record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians. They're killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
You're trying to justify Sahih Muslim, right? Which says that he's going to fight Christians and Jews for being Christians and Jews.
No.
Wait one second. Wait one second. You're trying to justify that by saying that there was a war back then.
Yes, sir.
My question to you is, what was the war being fought by Christians against Muhammad to justify this?
Okay.
What was the war?
Honestly,
there wasn't one.
Honestly,
yeah, go on, Abdullah. Go on.
There were Christians was fighting Muslims in those times.
Thank you.
It was It was the Arabs was trying to kill Muhammad because he came with one message to worship God and God only. So
that's what we do as Christians. That's what we do as Christians.
So therefore, those who call Christian in those days, because of their faith, in those times, they were getting persecuted in those days.
By who? By who?
You know, by who?
By Muslims.
Yeah, by the Muslims.
Thank you.
So
what was the justification for that persecution?
So what I'm saying is, listen, I don't want to talk about the past too much. I love to go forward and talk about the present. Now, why I like this is this.
Yeah.
It's because you have some extremist Muslim that read and they don't understand and carry out the act.
Yep.
You have good Muslims, you have bad Muslims. Also, you have good Christians and you have bad Christians.
Yep.
Now, what I'm saying is, about the bad Muslim that read the book, what you just read, and carrying out the act by killing Christians in Africa.
In Nigeria, in Congo,
yes.
In Sudan.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. I am against that. And this needs to stop.
And this is why, Abdullah, you're better than Muhammad.
No.
This is why you're better than Muhammad.
I'm not talking about Muhammad. Leave Muhammad out of this.
We can't
leave Muhammad out of this.
We can't leave him out of it, Abdullah.
Leave Muhammad out of this.
Abdullah, you
leave him out of this. We are talking about the killing.
Yes, I agree.
Why is it in your head? No. Why is it in your head? Yeah, you always on this Muhammad thing. Leave Muhammad alone.
Because the reason why I'm going to answer your question. Abdullah, the reason why.
Come on, man.
The reason why I'm talking about Muhammad is because the reason why Boko Haram and the Fulani are killing thousands upon thousands of Christians in Nigeria is because of what Muhammad said in the Hadiths.
In the study of religious history, it's important to distinguish between normative texts and historical context. Many early Islamic verses and hadiths were not born out of self-defense, but from a period when Islam was consolidating power and expanding its influence across the Arabian Peninsula. In early Islamic history, the concept of jihad did not always mean defensive war. Many of Muhammad's campaigns, and those of his successors, were expansionist, conquering territories that had never attacked the Muslims. Even classical Muslim historians acknowledged that the goal of jihad was li ila kalimatillah, to exalt the word of Allah, which meant expanding Islamic rule and bringing other systems under the authority of Sharia. That's why when someone argues that verses or hadiths about war were purely defensive, one simple question becomes crucial. What war did the Christians ever wage against Muhammad? This question exposes a major contradiction. There is no historical record of Christians attacking Muhammad. The Byzantine Empire, the heart of the Christian world at that time, only encountered Muslim armies after Muhammad's death. So the claim of defensive jihad simply cannot explain these texts. Hadiths like Sahih Muslim 29:22 point in an entirely different direction. It says that the last hour will not come until Muslims fight the Jews, that even stones and trees will speak, revealing where they hide. This is not a record of a real war. It's a theological vision, a portrayal of enemies defined by their religious identity. Such texts reflect a religious motivation, not a military one. Hadiths and verses like these plant the idea that fighting Jews and Christians is part of an end-times mission. That same idea continues to inspire extremist movements across regions, from the Middle East to Africa. We see it clearly in Nigeria, where groups like Boko Haram and Fulani extremists target Christian communities, not because of military threats, but because of a theological conviction that Christians are enemies of God. For them, violence against churches and believers is not political. It is spiritual, a supposed victory for Islam in the approach to the end times. In other words, texts written in the 7th century are still alive in the 21st century, shaping minds and justifying violence, not because of war, but because of the enduring belief that other faiths must submit.
Yes.
And because of the Qur'an,
yes,
which says to fight unbelievers because they don't believe. And that means, Abdullah, not only...
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question.
Let me land.
Go on.
Which means, Abdullah, not only are you not a Muslim...
I am a Muslim.
But you are better.
I am a Muslim.
But you are
no,
better than all the Muslims in this part.
All right.
You're better than all of them.
All right. Listen. That's what you said. What you and me said. I am not better than no man. And no man on this earth are not better than me.
Good,
so I
would
will say
that.
But what I'm saying is, this have to stop. You know, this have to stop. I am not religious. I am spiritual. You know what I mean? And these things that people they wrote about in the Quran, I think they don't have knowledge and understanding of it. Okay. And they carry out the act. And some of these things are what happened in the... Yeah. You heard that part. I don't want to repeat myself.
Yeah, I heard it.
So I'm asking you, what can we do to stop this killing?
Great. Here's what we can do. I'm going to answer that question directly. The international community needs to place sanctions on members of the Nigerian government for turning a blind eye to the persecution and mass murder of Christians in Nigeria. Secondly, the international community needs to work to train the Nigerian army to successfully repulse Boko Haram and to work with them on the ground to do so. If the Nigerian government refuses international cooperation to defeat Boko Haram, then the international community must work to create an independent South Nigeria that is for the Christians, so that the Christians can live and guarantee their own security. And if the Nigerian government refuses that, then topple the Nigerian government and kill them all.
Record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians. They're killing them in very large numbers. We're not going to allow that to happen.
Donald Trump's statement on Truth Social, later reported by Sky News Australia, emerged as a political reaction to this very situation. He warned that if the Nigerian government failed to stop the violence against Christian communities, the United States would suspend its aid and even consider stronger action. Behind his firm political tone lies something more revealing, an acknowledgement that what is happening is not merely a social conflict, but one with deep ideological and religious roots. Yet Trump's response remains geopolitical, not theological. He seeks to stop the consequences, the violence on the ground, without addressing the root cause, the religious narrative that justifies jihad against non-Muslims. Such an approach may calm the situation for a time, but it cannot transform the mindset that fuels it. The deeper issue, therefore, lies not only with the extremist groups themselves, but with the ideological framework they have inherited. The violence against Christians in Nigeria and elsewhere stems from classical doctrines that have never been seriously re-examined. The real solution cannot come merely through military or diplomatic pressure. It must come from theological courage, a willingness to re-evaluate the sacred texts and traditions that have long been shielded from critique. If the world continues to treat the symptoms without confronting the source, similar violence will keep reappearing, changing its name, changing its location, but carrying the same spirit. As long as the theological narrative of jihad and religious supremacy remains unchallenged, tragedies against communities of faith will continue to cast a long shadow from a history that has yet to be healed.